Now we're going to learn about control flow, which is also known as the conditional statements, and it is done with the if or else. So if something is true, then do this, else do this. This is just like English language. It helps you to make a decision. So suppose you're going to buy a car if you get a new job. So you will make a decision in your mind that if I get a new job, then I will buy the car, else I will search for a new job. Now, what does true mean in the context of programming? True is a boolean data type, and there could be only two possible values of a boolean data type, which is true and false. True is 1, false is 0, true is yes, false is no. So it's a yes or no question that the program will ask in order to make a decision. I will give an example. I will assign my variable, the integer 2. I will take another variable which is 1. Now I will give a if condition. I will type in if a greater than b, close my bracket, press colon, come to the next line by pressing enter once, press tab once, and type in print a is greater than b. So what am I saying right now? I'm saying right now that if 2 is greater than 1, if this statement is true, then print a is greater than b. I can check whether this statement of mine was true or not if I comment out this line and type in only print a greater than b, save my file and then run my code. I can see I get the output true. So it means that this statement is true, right? So this statement should be printed, right? So let's check. We can check that since this statement is true, that's why it got printed a is greater than b. Now if this statement was not true, and if I was saying suppose b greater than a, so I'm saying right now if 1 was greater than 2, then I can see that, sorry, I have to comment out this line. So I can see right now if I'm saying that if 1 was greater than 2, which is a false statement, then print this. So you can see that nothing is being printed right now. Now I'm gonna discuss about something that is very crucial to Python programming language, and it is indentation, these white spaces. In other programming language, this is optional and it is for the readability purpose. But in Python, it is 100% crucial to put indentation. How do you give indentation? You can give indentation by pressing tab button once, or you can also do it by pressing the spacebar 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can choose to do whichever you like, but personally I use the tab because I just have to press it once. Now any code I write under this if statement with the indentation will be a part of the if statement. It has nothing to do with anything that is outside the if statement. Suppose if I print here, this statement will print regardless. If I save my file and run my code, I can see that this print has nothing to do with this if statement being true or not. Now if I come out of my if statement and type in else, press enter, tab once, and print a is not greater than b, and run my code, I can see that this else statement is being printed. Notice how this else statement does not have any conditions to it. It's because else will do only when the if statement is not true. Also, please do understand this print has nothing to do with this block of code. This is completely separate. We will learn more about the if else statement with an example, but for now, we have to understand something which is very critical, and it is the operators. I will clear my screen. We have already looked at one example of the operator, and it is this greater than symbol. This is called a comparison operator because it compares both of the values and gives you a true or false statement. So let's learn more about the comparison operators. The first one is the one you just saw, which is the greater than, and one of the example could be 7 greater than 5. This statement is true because 7 is greater than 5. We can also see the less than, which would be 2 less than 3. 3 is greater than 2, so 2 would be less than 3. Greater than or equal would be 8 greater than equal symbol 8. So this statement would be true, and if I gave here 9, 10, 11, anything that is greater or equal, then the next value would print out a true statement. Then we have the less than or equal, which would be 6 less than equal 10. So this statement would be true if this 10 was 11, 12. It would not matter. If the second value was greater than the first value, then this statement would be true. Then we have another one which is equal. So equal would be 5 equal 5. Please note that if you want to check whether the first value is equal to the second value, you would give two equal signs and not just one. In Python, in order to assign a variable, you only give the equal sign. Suppose a equal to b, a equal to 1. But if you want to check whether the two values are equal, you give two equal signs. Next we have is the not equal, and an example of this would be 4, the exclamatory mark, equal sign, 5. This statement is true because 4 is not equal to 5. If I gave 5 not equal to 5, then of course this statement would be false. So these are all the ways you can use the comparison operators, and now we're gonna see how to use the logical operators. The three logical operators you should be aware of are AND, OR, NOT. An example of AND would be if I wrote 7 greater than 5 and 5 greater than 4, both of my conditions have to be met in order for the whole statement to be true. So I can see here 7 is greater than 5, so this is true, and I'm saying 5 is greater than 4, so this statement is also true. So true and true would result in true. True and true would be true. If I suppose wrote 6 greater than 5 and 3 greater than 4, what do you think this statement would be? This statement would be false. It's because even though 6 is greater than 5, which is true, but 3 is not greater than 4, so this would be false. So true and false would be false. True and false would be false. Now if we take a look at the example of a OR operator, suppose 6 greater than 5 or 4 greater than 5. Here, only one of the condition have to be true for the whole statement to become true. I'm saying either this is true or this is true. Here I can see that 6 is greater than 5, which is true, right? But 4 is not greater than 5. But since I'm using the OR operator, it means give me the whole statement as true if any one of the conditions are met. So true or false would be true. This is the main difference between the and the OR operator. In AND, both of the conditions have to be true for the whole statement to become true, or any one of the conditions have to be true for the whole statement to become true. And obviously, if both of the conditions are true, 7 greater than 6 or 6 greater than 5, then obviously the statement would be true. True or true would be true. I hope this is clear about the difference between the AND or. Now let's look at NOT. Suppose if I say a equal to true and I give another variable result equal to not a. Then if I print the result, I can see the result is being outputted as false because I have given not true. So these are all the logical operators. Now we are going to build a program for James Bond. What will we now try to build is a security alert door for the top secret service headquarters where James Bond work. So let's take our variable called name and let's call it Bond, and I will say if name equal Bond, print welcome to your last mission plus name. So right now I'm saying if name variable is equal to Bond, which I have already given the name Bond, so this string is true, right? So this Bond is equal to this Bond, so which is a true statement. Then I will print welcome to your last mission, and then I'll call my variable again, and I will say else print imposter alert alert alert. So if I print my program right now, I can see since my name is Bond, this statement is true. This line got printed, but what if my name was not Bond? What if my name was Cybermatrix? I can now see that the alarm system has been triggered because this statement is not true. Now, other than hard coding the variable like this, what could I have done is I could have also asked that who is trying to access the system, right? Who is trying to get into the headquarter? What I could have done is I could have given a built-in Python function, which is also known as the input. So let's talk a little bit about input. If I print it just like this and run my code, I can see that nothing is being printed, but my program is stuck. If you give the input function, it will wait in the command prompt for your reply. Then I can give Bond and press enter. Now the value of this variable is Bond. This name is equal to Bond right now, and it will always be printed in a string. Even if I had given running the same code and given 42, it would have been inside of this variable as the string 42 and not the integer. I can also print name to check, type in Bond, and I can see that this variable is getting printed. Now let's go back to our code. So inside the input, I can add a string which will give me a question, which would be who are you? And if I run my code right now, I can see that it's asking me who are you and waiting for my reply. If I type in Bond, press enter, and then I can see that this variable becomes Bond, and then similarly Bond equal to Bond, which is a true statement, and it will give me welcome to your last mission Bond. And if I typed in cyber matrix and pressed enter, I can see that since this name is not Bond and this statement is false, that's why this alert got triggered. Now in the top secret headquarters, only James Bond doesn't work, right? Other people also work, right? Like staff. So for them, we can do is we can create a elif statement. It's shorthand for else if. So elif name equal staff colon, come to the next line, give a tab button once, print welcome to your job, fill out the Excel form. Here, very important, elif is just like if, only if statement does not work. Only if statement is false, it will jump here and do the else if statement. We can give as many else if statement as we like. Suppose if I give another elif statement and say maintenance, here we can say fix the broken pipes. Our program will first check whether the name is Bond or not. If this statement is false and it comes here, it will check whether the name is tough or not. If the name is tough and if this statement is true, it will not print anything else. It will just stop here. Now if I run my code, first it's asking me who are you because of the input. Suppose I say I am a staff. I press enter and it got printed this line. Here the variable became staff, so it became like staff. This is now being checked against the string Bond. So staff is not equal to Bond, right? They're two completely different strings. So this statement is false. Now it will jump to this next elif statement. Here the staff is equal to the string staff, right? So that's why this line became true and the program stopped because nothing else matters here. If I had given maintenance, then similarly it's checking maintenance against the string staff. Since they're not equal, it's jumping onto the next line. And since maintenance and maintenance are true, this whole statement became true and it printed out this line. Anything else that I would have done here, anything else, if I had typed in cyber matrix, I get an imposter alert because cyber matrix against Bond is false, cyber matrix against staff is false, cyber matrix against maintenance is false. So anything else would have jumped here. Even if I kept it empty, it would have given me this alert. Now, very important, it is very important to give no indentation here. It should be on the same line. If you did like this, the program would not run because this elif would be inside the if statement.